video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and today we are going to be crossing enemy lines and jumping into the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Obviously, in the 2024 draft, they made several investments at the offensive line position, bringing in Zach Frasier as a future center, bringing in Troy Fautanu as a right tackle who may make the move to left tackle, and breaking in Mason McCormick. A lot of folks were interested in all three of those players, maybe less so on Zach Frasier, obviously, because he's looking like a center only, but a lot of Ravens fans loved Fautanu. A lot of them love Mason McCormick as kind of a third-round guard target. They end up in Steeltown, and I think it's important as we go through the preseason to kind of keep tabs on some of these guys across the division, see how they're developing, how they're looking early. So that's what we're going to do. I'd say there's a heavier focus in this video on Zach Frasier because I was very impressed with his game. Before we jump into it, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. As always, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, drop a comment down below, let me know what you guys think about the Steelers' new additions and what you're thinking. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start here with some Zach Frasier run blocks. So obviously lined up at the center position pretty much exclusively through this video. Just realized I do not have my screen recorder or screen brush open. Give me 2 seconds. Make sure that's up so we can draw here. There we go. Hate seeing that black and yellow on my screen though. So we're gonna start here with a little zone stretch. We're gonna see 3 double teams on this play, and we're gonna see some of the athleticism from Zach Frasier right out the gate. So right off the bat, you're gonna see the 3 double teams here: right tackle, right guard, center, left guard, and then the left tackle with the tight end. So Frasier is from the starting position, so he's going to go over to this 2-eye technique, who's got that kind of inside shade on the guard, and his goal is to overtake from the left guard so that he can peel out into the second level. So he's got to take that wide step and get across to his head across to that outside shoulder. And so as you see here, no problem in doing so. Actually turns him completely back, takes him out of the play. That first step quickness is something that a lot of people thought could have got him into the first round conversation. Now we're going to get a trap concept here on the second play. So you're going to see him get out there in the second level. Doesn't complete his block, but the quickness to get out there. So on this one, you're going to see 66 cross in behind him, move that way, and he's going to basically reach that outside shoulder from the linebacker. There's that quickness. Obviously, he wants to locate him, line him up, and then drive him. He doesn't end up getting the drive, but again, that quickness to get out there, that's something that Zach Frasier's really showing immediately. And now we're going to get an inside zone play. He's going to have to overtake that 2-tech to his left. And again, getting there, turning. Would like to see him, running back ends up going outside path, looking at this a little bit more critically. Obviously, this is a big step, right? He's got to get all the way over here. His hand placement's quite good. You see right there, he scoops. The only thing that he could do a little bit better is get that helmet across to keep that leverage. And then by doing so, you're going to get less of that sway. So the running back's able to cut outside. But if he's trying to go up behind him or do a cutback there, you want him to be able to keep that leverage on the outside where the ball carrier is going, rather than losing a little bit of that inside contain. But overall, incredible block to be able to take that wide step so quickly. Get a couple plays here in the red zone. This one, I think we're going right on this one. Yeah. So love what he does here. So it's going to be a little inside zone step. You can see everybody's kind of taking that right. Argued or debated whether or not this was duo, because 66 kind of takes a first step to the left, but he's constantly looking right as their rookie last year, Jones, tries to overtake. And then what you're going to see from Frasier is he's going to bang down quickly, and then he's going to work himself right into the second level on a DB and kind of get him, nice little drive into the end zone. They don't get in because of it looks like Jones fails to overtake the 3-tech here on the left side. You can see right there he breaks through. But that block here to be able to make sure he's taken care of and then get someone else in the second level. That's what you want to see down in the red zone. Making sure you have hats on hats, taking care of bodies. And then on this one, we're going to get just a 0-tech head up on him, and he's got to basically just drive because they're going to come right off his ass on this one. And here you see it, boom. And he's going to kind of, again, peel off a little bit. The block is lost on the left side. I think that's Will Anderson Jr., 52. He just bodies his man. Oh, no, it's on the left tackle again, Jones. He fails to get that 3-tech who dips under his arm there, and then he's able to tack. See right there. So, but on Frasier's game, what I like here is, let's slow it down so I can show you guys. So you're going to see him right there. That nice low position. His helmet's right down here. It's actually under the armpit of 91. And then he's able to drive and then still peel off and try and hit someone else. So if the running back's able to get through, he's having no problem there breaking into the end zone. I believe we get a down block here on the 2-tech on a trap. He's going to cross face. Yep. Really solid. Finishes him. Takes him to the ground. Good quickness. Good physicality. Things that he did not struggle with in his first game. We're going to get an outside zone play here. Now, like this one because the right guard on this play. So watch. 62 is going to get swam. So you see him with that outside hand. He's going to get swam under. So now Frasier's not just taking on a double team. He's got to completely overtake that man. And he does with no problem. Sweeps him. Good cuts by the running back to kind of stay behind to the blockers. Move up. And as always, we are here sponsoring BetUS. Showing you here the AFC North odds because this is a really interesting conversation. Obviously, I'm pretty confident the Baltimore Ravens are going to win the AFC North, especially with a Lamar Jackson, with a healthy Lamar Jackson. But the question is, and the question I'd like to hear from you guys down in the comments is, what is the best bet? Is it going with the Steelers at plus 700 because you get a better return on your investment, or the Ravens a slam dunk? So go over, check out BetUS. They offer the fastest payouts in the industry, so you won't be waiting around when you hit that big win. And when you sign up, you can get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Depositing and withdrawing is a breeze with their fast and easy process and 24/7 personalized service 365 days a year. They offer live wagering on all major games and the best variety in the business, plus 10% on your net losses twice a year. More money in your pocket. Click the link in the description or pinned in the comments to get your BetUS account started and start hitting those big bucks. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. And we will keep marching along. We're back in the red zone for a couple more of these run block plays from Zach Frasier. There, we're going to get a nice little bang on the 2-tech and then into the end zone. So you're kind of seeing there the quick release on his combination blocks, his ability to get into the second level. That's something to keep an eye on, and definitely something that I think is going to be really relevant. I think we're going to get more here with Troy Fautanu so we can kind of look at Frasier and Fautanu on the same play. We're going to get a nice little pin and pull play. They're going to get Fautanu out in space. You get Frasier out in space with Najee Harris. This was an earlier play in the drive where they have their starters. So you can see why they drafted these guys. They wanted the quickness that they're going to be able to bring. So here on this one, you're going to get the pin here inside by the in receiver, and then you're going to get 88 and Fautanu out. Frasier has no one in front of him, so he's just trying to get out into the second level. And then you get Frasier out there making a block in space. You get Fautanu eyeing up and being the lead blocker there and making, 43, pushing him back, giving some space. So this is really what they were looking for when they drafted both these players. The Steelers have Arthur Smith in the building. They want to be able to run that zone scheme that he did in Atlanta, that he did with Derrick Henry in Tennessee, and they want fast, agile offensive linemen. So you're seeing it right there on that play. This one, we're going to get a zone stretch, focusing on Fautanu overtaking. And so some of the issues that we looked at with a couple of the Ravens rookies like Roger Rosengarten, this is a very comparable play. So he's going to, and obviously a Washington Husky, similar to Rosengarten. So he's got to do an outside zone step here. He's got to get across. And right here you can see 76 on the freeze frame. No issue getting to his mark. That's a really strong position. He's able to get into that arch back that we're always looking for, helmets across, but he's missing the functional strength to drive, and he loses the leverage. And that's similar to how we looked at a lot of those Roger Rosengarten run plays, where they both have no problem getting to their spot. That's not the issue. It's the functional strength to drive and maintain leverage. It's not gaining leverage, it's maintaining it. We're going to get another outside zone play here to the left. You're going to see Zach Frasier overtaking the 2-tech, and you're going to get Fautanu overtaking the 3-tech. And there you got both of them gaining that inside leverage and, being able to spring that play. So, again, that's the type of athleticism that they're looking for with these two guys. We're going to transition into some pass pro here. Overview of that. Thought Frasier looked pretty good. You're going to see Fautanu struggle with his anchor a little bit, and a little bit of hand placement issues. So you see Fautanu out there getting driven a little bit. Really like the recovery, though. He's going to get out there. He's going to get popped. And then you see right here, he brings those hands inside and gets that strong position. When we look inside at Zach Frasier, Frasier's kicking out to the right, and 74 is going to basically pass him off, and he's going to have to absorb that contact. And really good job getting low, dropping that butt. You can see right there, he's hitting those hop step backs, but he's able to engage that anchor and drop it. So, very much, Frasier reminds me a little bit of Tyler Linderbaum in the sense that he might give up a little bit of ground, but his ability to battle and get low and re-engage his anchor throughout the rep, it's basically slow burns. So if he's losing a little bit and getting pushed back, it's a very slow burn. It's not immediately impacting the quarterback. So here we got the Texans, which they do an awful lot, is line up wide. So they got their defensive tackles lined up as 4 techs over both of the tackles, and then they got the linebackers mugging basically as, two eyes here, because they're just inside they're head up on the guard and just with an inside step. So they're kind of mugging them, and everybody's going to come here. And so as they do, we're going to see them attack Frasier. 66 is going to step outside. We're going to see one linebacker attack and then the other one cross. And you can see right there, Jalen Warren stepping up like an absolute animal. But as he drives, you see Frasier get knocked right out of the business. So that's a tough one. He's taking on 2 guys there, and that's what they want to do on this play. They want to use both linebackers in the blitz game. But just interesting because the Ravens do this a lot, and you can kind of see the anchor there, lack of processing, to be looking at the right guys, obviously looking at the linebacker that's, the roll man. You got the pick man here, and, getting driven there. And then we look outside because I think Fautanu's against Will Anderson Jr. here, so obviously really relevant rep. And as he gets outside there, this happened a lot in this game where watch that inside hand. He's throwing the inside hand as like a help man, and by doing so, he's creating this short corner outside. And you see Will Anderson really step up there, and he actually ends up Will Anderson throws his inside hand across and then comes back inside. And you see right there, get across, and he's part of a sack. So I don't think he got charged with this sack. I don't think Fautanu did. I don't think that was his charged sack. It might have been. But you can see the issue there that was caused by, that help inside. He's got to take care of his man first. And by creating that short corner, he has to overcompensate, face backwards, and Will Anderson Jr. being able to bend. You can see him bend inside there, is able to just get by him. Get into another one here. We're going to see Fautanu's anchor and see him kind of get driven back a little bit before he takes contact from the inside man. But this was a pretty consistent theme. You see him right there. He's going to get those hands are up high. And you kind of see, so you guys know I'm not an arm length truthist, but if you're going to have shorter arms, you got to play with really good hand position. You see his hands are landed like they're inside the chest plate here, but they're high, and the defensive lineman was able to get lower, and therefore he was able to drive them. So he's got to play with low hands, get them landed, and make sure that he can engage his anchor throughout. And then so you're going to see it again here, just what we talked about the last time. Watch that left hand. He's going to give that inside help, which is great, but he's completely short-cornered himself. He's now turned horizontal, and that's the path to the quarterback. There's almost a full yard between the quarterback's drop, or almost 2 yards, and so he's going to get wrapped right there, and that's the sack he gave up. So that Will Anderson Jr. sack wasn't charged to Fautanu, but you saw him play a part in it. So that's the sack he gave up. So both sacks that his man was involved in, both coming from the same issue, both coming from getting short-cornered. Then we get one last anchor play here. and much better job absorbing. And so let's look at the hands here. Hands low, and he's able to land them a little bit he uses a bit of a circle technique here where he kind of brings them up and in, and then he's able to sit back, but it's that refit right there. So see how he watch his right hand, it's coming off the body here, and then it's going to reset down there, and then right there. So it's all going to be about keeping those hands low and making sure that he's able to compensate, basically. One last play here. So again, he gets out quick. That's a nice quick set, but then he just gets driven a little bit. So, I think he gets pushed right back into the quarterback. So overall, I'm not too concerned with some of the things I've seen. Zach Frasier as a whole looks incredible. I think as far as rookie debut goes, if he was a Raven, this would be a hype video. And so I think that's important because that's something Ravens fans need to keep their eye on. He's a guy that's going to be in this division for years to come. And then Troy Fautanu, struggling a little bit more than we saw from Roger Rosengarten at the same position. He's playing against top competition, some of those reps against Will Anderson Jr., so you got to factor that into the conversation, no doubt. But nonetheless, struggling a little bit with some technique issues, and Rosengarten wasn't really technique-wise. It was, he was lining his guys up in pass pro and dropping anchor pretty well. Similar issues in the run game, but, getting short-cornered, giving up that ground pretty consistently was something that if it was a Raven doing it, I'd be flagging to you guys as a concern. So something to keep an eye on from, a rookie that's going to be basically their starter this year at right tackle. There are a couple injuries. I think Fautanu got hurt, but I think he's on track to play week 1. But you're kind of seeing some of the issues there from Fautanu. So I'm worried about Zach Frasier. I think he's going to be a very good center, but not as worried about what I'm seeing from Troy Fautanu. So drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. And once again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.